Hello, everybody. Today is the 9th of October 2015. This is Pandora Chat, and today we'll be talking about Misaki.
Misaki, she's the second of our main characters for Pandora, and because Rodessa, who we spoke about last week, is more of sort of a Western-y influence, I decided when I created Misaki to be more of an Eastern influence. So, it's sort of like West versus East and showing different types of supernatural combat between the two. With Misaki, unlike Rodessa, who had a fairly, well, I wouldn't say normal, but she's, she had a background in like the normal world, I should say. Misaki, on the other hand, is born into the supernatural world. She's from a family of demon hunters, and a lot of what she does is travels to different shrines and things like that, learning more about ways of combating the supernatural. So, at least at the very beginning, Mizuki is more the I suppose if you think of like in cop movies or something, how you have one of them who's normally the very dedicated one to the job and the other one's still new. She will be the veteran of in the supernatural world between the two. So she's almost acts a bit like a mentor at first, even though they don't particularly get on. Where she's sort of introducing Rodessa into the supernatural world.
Our exposition fairy.
Unfortunately, she does end up being something of an exposition fairy. She's at least in the early cases, because by later cases, Rodessa starts to do her own research. Plus, we also move away from like Japan and things like that. So Mizuki herself has to do more research, but she's good for like the early cases in the fact that she can explain, and they don't have to take too long trying to dig up all the information. So it's good for like the early cases before we get into the longer, more complicated ones.
So what exactly influenced you? Like her style, her why it's called throw her into that kind of the Japanese kind of Demon Slayer. Why not kind of the more Western one like Van Helsing and stuff?
Well, because I sort of already thought that Rodessa would probably more fit in there. She's the gunslinger. She's so she would be more like the Western one, things like Helsing, whereas Mizuki would be more the Eastern one, and then they would sort of come together somehow, exchanging their own ways. She would just learn more and become fairly well rounded. In that way, but it's good that when we do start moving west, that Rodessa might know more how to deal with certain things, at least once we get in her researching stuff. There's also the fact that I wanted to give the world, I suppose you could say, a bit of worldliness, that they're not all just coming from America, or they're not just all coming from Europe or something. The characters are from different places, and we can get influences from different places in the world. And then there's also the fact that there is quite a lot of information on like various purifications and things like that do come from the East, which are quite interesting. I've always sort of been interested in that sort of area. So yeah, it just felt that it balanced things out. Again, like with her personality, for example, where Rodessa seems to be the one with the heart on her sleeve, she's the more passionate out of the two. I thought that it might be a good juxtaposition to have Mizuki be this like the cool, calculating one. That she's the quieter one, but meaning that you probably don't always get how she's going to react. Whereas with Rodessa, to an extent, you know that she'll see something that annoys her, she'll yell or something. Mizuki, you didn't like, she's quiet, she's the quiet one, what's she going to do? You're not overly sure how she'll react.
Does she have a distinct fighting style?
Well, because as I was saying with Rodessa, she's the gunslinger, so I thought let's do something a bit different. So with Mizuki, she's more a sword fighter. She's there's something that she's learnt is that if you're going to take a life, you should know what you're doing. Whereas with a gun, if you're at a distance, you can sort of distance yourself away from it. With her, she actually wants to know she's done these things. That she knows there's a price to what she's doing. So this thing that she's learnt is that obviously if she has to say there's sort of some demon that's possessed somebody and there's no other way of doing it, that you have to kill the person, that she wants to know that this is her failing in this case so she can improve on it, that nobody else would have to die in that same way. She takes things like that very hard on herself. Even though she doesn't outwardly show it as often, a lot of the things that she does, like she keeps close, I suppose. And along with the swordsmanship, she also tends to use because she travels to various different temples and things. She learns different ways of fighting from, say, Buddhist or Shinto. She's got some Onmyoji type stuff with her, so she tends to use things like talismans as well, that she could use to blow things up or to seal something, or to purify a place, things like that. Obviously, she goes along, she starts she'll be learning different types from other places as well, so her fighting style will change more and more to become like wider ranging as things go on. So she'll be like a bit more well-rounded in that case then.
How does she react with the other characters, and how does she feel about them?
Okay, well, because she's somebody who doesn't particularly want to get close to somebody, but she's very mission minded. So when she's meeting Redessa, who is, as we've said, she's like louder. She's it's just the way she acts. It's not something that Mizuki herself particularly gets along with. So, yeah, you can.
I think that part makes me giggle the most. Again, not spoiling anything because it's in the first chapter, but like when they first are actually in the temple, sitting down, and it's basically there's a bitch kind of relationship they have, and they're picking at each other, and I think Rose is some really smart. He come in, and then Mizuki comes back with like, oh really, and then fires back, and it's just funny between those two.
Yeah, with Mizuki, she's more like the deadpan one. So you've got like the fiery one, suddenly just like these deadpan replies, and they tend to bounce between each other. But as things go along, she eventually gains respect for her and things like that. But it just because she isn't overly emotional about things, it seems to take longer with her, even if it's only outwardly that it seems to take longer. She doesn't particularly like to get close to people. It's something that you eventually find out why, but I don't particularly want to get into that without spoiling everything. But you've also got people like Violet, who is somebody we'll be talking about, I believe, next week.
Mm-hmm.
And she respects Violet to an extent, although she is a bit wary about her. I think she's wary about most people, to be honest. I wouldn't call her paranoid exactly, but she's
best to be like cautious than in harm's way kind of thing.
And it's also the case that if she keeps away from them in her own way, then she doesn't feel like if she loses them, it won't impact on her as much. It'd still be a statistic she doesn't want, but it's better to be a statistic than a lost friend or family. Of course, humans don't work quite like machines. She can't quite do what she would hope to do in that case. And it's basically her getting over her own little trauma there, I suppose you could say, and to be able to open up to these people, to accept the help of others, when for a lot she's working as a loner for a while, even though she's been learning from all these other temples. She prefers to work alone because there's no casualties when you work alone, or at least in her mind.
So what kind of things do you expect from her, and how she's going to like grow in the future?
Well, what I hope for it is that even though she's like quite standoffish to begin with, I hope for her to, slowly open up to be, to show more of who she actually is rather than who she's trying to be. So a lot to do with her story, I suppose you could say, is her finding this place she can be to be. Rather than trying to be somebody else, she's like become powerful in her own right.
Would you kind of say that she's like deep down in her core, she's kind of soft and pink, just with a hard exterior?
Yeah, kind of. Because there's one thing that I can sort of see from her is that she likes cute things, but in her mind, what she finds cute isn't what everybody else would find cute. For example, say a voodoo doll or something, she might find that adorable, but nobody else would. They'd all look at her weird. So yeah, I mean, certain things she's actually fond of kids. She's it's like the few times that she would smile or something is to kids. She can be quite gentle with them. It's just that she's always keeps this barrier between herself and is basically trying to get rid of this barrier. Because what's the point in protecting people if you can't connect with them as well?
Would you say that was kind of one of her major flaws, or?
Well, in some cases, yes, and in some cases, no. Because with her not connecting to people, she can still work despite the fact, say something blew up a place and there's like a load of people inside it, where Redessa might find this a horrific thing and want to do something. Mizuki can keep her mind on the mission. But on the other hand, because she doesn't want to connect to people and she just keeps trying to push them away, she might not accept the help that she actually does need, and it could get her into trouble. So yeah, it's with her, she sort of needs to gain this sort of balancing act between the two. Like, where would you draw the line between connecting to somebody and then just getting too emotionally invested? And yeah, there's other things that I would expect. Hope from her is that she grows not only as a character but like in her own abilities as well. I suppose you could expect that for all the characters, but I could just imagine, because she likes to learn, she would want to know all the different ways of like exorcism and stuff like that from other people. So she wouldn't just she wouldn't just be a static character in her abilities, or just growing in abilities that are just from Japan, for example. She would also pick up ones from the West. So you might eventually see her like with a housing kind of thing, So
I'm sorry, now I can just see her dressed as Alucard. Thank you for that image.
But I just with her, I can see her being the researcher kind of character, whereas like with Redessa, she's the jump in head first kind of thing. I can see Mizuki being the one that would probably come up with the main tactics or something like that, or at least bringing them up and then or listening to the other ones, because she's started researching everything, and including the different ways of dealing with them. But yeah, I just hope that she does grow and gets over the particular issues that she has at the start. And yes, I know you kind of get choked up about it. There's various things in the past that will eventually come to light that I know that you tend to be a bit sad about.
I'm sorry, you just write really sad stories. Damn you, Tara.
Well, at least she doesn't mope about it all the time.
If I were, I would at least a little bit.
Well, that's the reason why she doesn't particularly want to connect to anybody.
I get you.
But yeah, we should stop like mentioning these things. It's like it's either we're going to spoil everything or we're just going to annoy everybody to death because we haven't actually told them what's going on with it. So is there anything else you want to know about Mizuki at all? Or?
Is there anything else you want to add without spoiling anything?
Not really, because a lot of the things that are about her do kind of spoil a little bit because it's like various things that I want her to get or meet, and but I do think it will be funny to just have Mizuki and Ro react. They do have like this quite funny sisterly affection, I suppose you could say. Well, eventually. When they're not trying to kill each other.
It's like, Mizuki, hey, where's this cute little thing? Along with this little cute little thing. No. Oh, gosh. Oh, before we go, we will be attending London MCM. I'll be talking more about this later on, but I'll be handing out flyers and leaflets. The first 10 people to enter the code on the back will be getting a prize, one of 4 images done by myself and Tara.
So we hope you do actually give it in. There's, as I said, the code on the back. You email it to us, and we send you one of the images. Hopefully you like them. So. We're also working on our own website, which will give more information a bit closer to the time, and we hope you look forward to anything else that's to come with Pandora.
See you soon. I've been Nadia Williams, aka the Eternal Black Rose,
and I'm Tara Washington, aka Choshu Kurenai. See you later.
Bye.